Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, coming fresh off a Miami Hurricanes victory, 52-45 over Louisville Cardinals. You guys, you got very froggy, throwing up a lot of upside down U's, but you guys can sit there and you can still hold your stupid L and get the hell out of here. Miami Hurricanes improve to 7-0, first time they have been at that mark since 2017. And look, man, this team, they are a thrill ride right now. That is how I would describe the Miami Hurricanes. There's going to be a lot of people who want to talk about how good is the team, what is their true contendership right now. This is what I know. They have one of the most electrifying players in all of football and best quarterbacks in all of football in Cam Ward. And is he holding a lot of this up on his shoulders? Certainly. This guy is incredible. I know you're going to have a lot of people coming out of the woodwork because people love to hate this program that are going to say the Miami Hurricanes right now could be 0 for their last 3 because of some reviews. To those people, I would say you're horse bleeping yourself, because every one of these reviews that has happened on the Miami Hurricanes, these were all put to the booth just as a precaution to get it super, super right. But the right call was eventually made, and you can't convince me otherwise. So go bleep yourself. I don't want to hear it. And as far as today's was concerned, on the 2nd and 3, this to me was the most obvious out of all of them over the last 3 weeks. Cam Ward, as it was happening, was so obviously throwing that football, and it was an incomplete pass. And, to me, there was a play, I think it was 2 drives earlier, where Louisville was driving, and the Miami Hurricanes, busted and hit, I think it was their tight end or one of their receivers. He caught it, turned around, boom, Miami Hurricanes jarred the ball loose, and they called that a fumble. I hate that call. I was like, all right, I hate that. I wish that would be a fumble, but they call it incomplete. This was so obviously incomplete. So anybody who wants to sit here and boo-hoo about it, that's fine. They're going to hate on the Canes anyway. They're going to call them an incomplete team anyway. They're going to call them a one-trick pony team anyway. And I got to be honest with you, as much as I love Cam Ward, and I love Cam Ward and what he has done to this program, it has been mutually beneficial, because Cam Ward, where he was in the standing of his football career, whether deciding to come back to college or not, this guy is now being talked about as a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. It's likely going to be at least at the ceremony, I would say, if this keeps up. And, you're seeing mock drafts today where he is the second quarterback taken. And who knows what's going to happen by the end of the year, because, you got Coach Prime's guys going there in the first 2 picks with Shedeur and with Travis Hunter. But this one today was just a wild ride, dude. There's definitely you come out of these Canes games and you're like, yeah, there's a lot to improve. There's a lot of shooting themselves in the foot. I would definitely say that the Miami Hurricanes secondary is a giant concern. Out of when you come out of all these games, you're like, man, they give them a lot of big plays, like a lot of big plays. But I do think that the front line is getting fortified. The special teams unit today, I mean, I'm watching this game and I'm thinking, all right, this puppy, it should have been in the bag. You go up 31-17 right out of the gate. You have this marvelous drive. You kill a lot of the quarter, and then just boom, right away. Touchdown, fumble, touchdown, and it's 31-31 all of a sudden, because it did feel very much like the Miami Hurricanes had this in hand, and then a just awful kickoff coverage gets Louisville back in the door. But that being said, this was a game Miami only trailed at 1 point, where they were down 7-3, and then Cam Ward really got locked in. You had a beautiful touchdown pass in this game to Jacoby George in the back corner of the end zone. And then you had another one to Sam Brown where he's just, ragdolling fools, goes for the TD. I thought today, one of the things that I loved, I thought the running game really got going for Miami. And I don't know if that was getting reinforcements on the line or what, but it really felt like today was something they could rely on. They rushed for 219 yards. Damian Martinez was an absolute behemoth in this game. I mean, he had a couple of runs in this game where he was just He was trucking fools, and then there was one where he took all the state of Kentucky on his back for a first down. He was an absolute monster. Mark Fletcher, pretty solid today. He obviously had the one blunder where he has the huge turnover, which leads to a Louisville touchdown. A.J. Allen on that final drive to give Miami their ultimate lead back and get into a spot where, get them to a spot where they had the lead back. That to me was that was a great performance from him. They go to him fresh basically in this game, and it looked good. But this is what I would just say to every Canes fan out there, okay? Because you can go to I'm hopping on here after a Canes game. It's a lovely early Saturday, and I know that everybody is going to be in your mentions. You're going to have FSU fans, Florida fans, SEC fans, Notre Dame fans, who the hell ever fans. It doesn't matter, dude. The Miami Hurricanes, when they are rolling like this and every other team is getting knocked off, we knew from the jump of this season when Louisville was ranked, this was going to be one of the toughest games the Canes had to go out there and win. These last 3 weeks, the Miami Hurricanes have put themselves in much tougher positions than they really should be. I definitely think there are some deficiencies on the team, but I also think there is a lot of stuff this football team could clean up to make easier on themselves as well. Yet, when all of that adversity has hit them in the face, in past years, it has made them crap their pants or wet their pants, and it would end up with a disappointing loss. And instead, they have found the mental fortitude, whether it was Vatek, whether it was Cal, or whether it was Louisville today. Every single time adversity could have hit them in the face, they always, always, always have a response. And that, to me, is the beauty of Cam Ward and what he has brought to this program, more so than anything. Yes, he has got just the beautiful touches. He knows who to go to. You go to Xavier Restrepo on the key elements, for sure. Sam Brown today, what a day. 3 catches, 125 yards for him. He was incredible. And then, of course, Cam Ward was huge. We go back to the drive everyone's going to want to talk about, which was when Miami ends up having to deal with this situation. They're up a touchdown, 2nd and 3. Cam Ward, the run. But how about earlier in that drive, just a couple plays beforehand, 3rd and 17. You guys want to sit here and whine about referees. But 3rd and 17, Miami's in their own territory, and you give up a 22-yard run to Superman himself, and Cam Ward goes there. Look, I'm going to tell one thing about Louisville. You went a little too hard in the paint with the upside-down U's. You guys were cracking those over your knees, down 3 in the first half. Couldn't happen. Defense, certainly there are things that got to improve, but they got you a huge touchdown in this game. Miami recovered a touchdown in the end zone. Just a monster play, knocked out, forced out by Simeon Barrow, and the Canes were able to. Was it Barrow? I was at a sports bar at the time. I thought it was Bain on the television, but I might have been wrong. I was watching that one from a distance. Either way, when I get back to my house and I watched all the second half there, tremendous performance. And Bain did have a big time sack for the Canes, so it is great to see number 4 back in there doing his thing and getting this going. Look, there are definitely things that need to be polished up. Thankfully, you have a cupcake next week in Florida State. You can get some things right before you have one of your most critical games, which is Duke coming into town with Manny Diaz at the helm. So, you take opportunities like taking on a Florida State who, is basically, it's almost like the Canes should be giving them $1 million to come in there just for a tune-up. This is what you do with your cupcakes. You get things right, and you have them come in here, a piddly 1-6 on the season, and you try and tune some things up. You get some work of your backups. That's what you should really do when an FSU comes to town. That's the important thing in this one. One other thing needs to be said. I can't get enough of Michael Irvin. I need, at the end of this thing, I need a Michael Irvin edit to be put out by either the Hurricanes or ESPN, strictly of just Michael Irvin in that lucky shirt of his going crazy about everything. He's tremendous. This guy is just an absolute delight. Every single time they put him on the television, I am so happy about it because this dude rides and dies with his Canes no matter what. And you knew this back when he was like going crazy for them in the NIT. He's just that kind of a fan. So I love that. Lance Guidry, get some things right, dude. You got to sharpen this thing up. Even just having Louisville at the end of that thing have an onside kick that was just terrible event by them. But just to even make things get diced over the middle like that has to absolutely get cleaned up. Thankfully, you got FSU to work on some things this week. Here are your final numbers. Miami, they finished with 538 total yards. Cam Ward, 21-32, 319 yards, 4 TDs. Rush for 29 yards, 22 of those coming on a monster 3rd and 17. He's kicking out. I honestly didn't even think it was like there were even more opportunities there for Cam, but just like when you watch him, like the guy's ridiculous. Like he'll get like hit, he'll get almost dragged down, spin out, and then just does like a little like flip pass to somebody. Just absolutely tremendous. I love watching this guy play football, and I think that's my message on the way out of here is Canes fans, just enjoy this dude. This feels. Who knows what this season's going to become, and everybody is preying on your downfall. That's where the Canes fan loves it. Okay, F them. You sit here, you swagger around, goosies galore, and F them. Who says at the end of this was the most perfect team up and down? Right now, I will say this. They've been through a lot of adversity. It could be poetic by the end of this thing. The Canes could have a review booth engraved in the ring just to troll everybody. But you definitely know this. One, there were elements that got better today. The running game absolutely looked dynamic today. Damian Martinez ran like a demon. You had a lot of guys that you could go to. Cam Ward, of course, what does he do? He makes the plays when he has to make the plays. The special teams, I mean, don't give up the touchdown. That was not ideal. Once again, a huge turnover led this team to getting another team back in the door or giving a team a lead. So those self-inflicted wounds have to get cleaned up. I don't necessarily think that's a talent thing. I think that these have just been, some very untimely errors to make things a little bit harder on themselves and everything. But ultimately, you are 7-0 in a game and a sport where everybody gets got all the time. And this thing is potentially heading towards something that's special. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while everybody is just preying on your demise, because it's going to be all that sweeter when it doesn't happen for them. And enjoy this. Michael Irvin, Canes lifer. It's been Goosey's dude. Mario Cristobal, you took a knee today. I was proud of you that has now been a new weapon to your arsenal. Congrats. And to Jack Harlow, your music's terrible, and so is your football team.